guys, welcome back to Nico's World. Today I'm back with another video. As you have seen in the title, today we are talking about season 3 of The Sinner.
Car accident that proved fatal. What happened?
I don't know. It's like we lost traction, and the next thing I knew, we were just thrown upside down, every direction.
Yeah, The Sinner. I wanted to do this a little different. I'm not really going to be talking much about the story and more about the portrayal of the character, Jamie. Because I guess, I'm not going to say I went into existential crisis, but after finishing the last episode, it definitely made me think about a couple of things. It was a deep season, rooted in philosophy, and so there was no way I wasn't going to think of this in any other type of capacity. Does contain spoilers, just so I can talk more freely about everything. So yeah, if you haven't watched it, go watch it and then let's talk about it. But yeah, let's get started. First off, I just want to apologize for my audio. And even just the format of the video today, I have misplaced my tripod. So I'm recording on my camera. I don't usually use this camera for recording. So yeah, excuse the audio if it's quite low. I will make sure there are captions. But yeah, that's just the preface. Jamie. Let us talk about Jamie as a character. Specifically, what I'd like to talk about with Jamie is masculinity and privilege. Gets away with murder, essentially. Multiple murders before anybody is able to do anything about it, really, if you think about it. Yes, the detective himself is trailing Jamie and they do not have enough evidence. Obviously this shows the process of policing and convictions. If you don't have the evidence there, it's going to be very hard to get a conviction. You meet Jamie, you see he's a very good looking guy, some would say, and he's got a wife. They're having a baby. He's a high school teacher. He's loved by all the girls. And he lives in the suburbs, very important. We're introduced to his character as someone who is the man who has it all. He has everything that he wants. Everything a man could want in life, he has. He's living the dream, right? And still, as we progress through the series, he is struggling. He's living how one is supposed to live, but not how he wants to live. We go through the series and we realize, actually, okay, he was the one who called Nick in the first place because he's the one who's drowning. He's the one who needs that sense of adventure that they had in high school, because he feels like, in college, sorry, because he feels like he's drowning. He's not able to, he's not living his authentic life. And I think this, specifically for me, watching this, made me think about how there is expectations for a man. We're talking about gender roles here. There are expectations for a man and what his life must be, what his life should look like. This standard of living. And he has everything, right, that you would want, ideally. And still he is unhappy, he is struggling. And it made me look at the relationship between a white man with all his privilege, who has everything and is still struggling. This concept of masculinity and how he must provide for the family, and he is still struggling with his identity as the male figure in his family. So now Jamie has killed 3 people. He's on the loose. They're trying to find him. They know that he's doing this, but they can't do anything about it, right? When I finished watching all of this, the first thing I thought was, What if this was a black man? What if this whole scenario is changing and Jamie is a black man? Would this story still pan out the same way it did if Jamie was black? I feel like there was a lot of privilege in the things that were allowed to happen and continue to happen that did not just involve the process of policing and conviction. Said with him killing a couple other people and then just being let go scot-free, him being able to keep his job, him swearing at his boss, those are all signs of privilege, because I guarantee you if a black man swore at his boss, that would be it. But no, Jamie gets to keep all of those things because of his privilege, right? The reason why I talk about this is because his wife, I forgot her name, but she slightly mentioned it. And this is why I wanted to touch on it. So Jamie's spiraling, right? He's spiraling out of control. This is the part where he's killed Nick, obviously, and the baby's coming, like a week or so. And all of a sudden he starts talking about why would it be okay to bring a child in this world just so that we are no longer scared of death. His theory is that everyone is scared of dying and they're not talking about it. Everyone is scared. Everyone thinks the same way that he does. Okay, great philosophy. I completely understand where he's coming from. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying my dad is calling me. So I was talking about how he was telling his wife about, you know, him saying he kind of wants to back out from everything that's happening and he's not ready when she's a week from giving birth. And she goes to him, my father in Jamaica did not have the luxuries to do that. He had to continue going on. And when she said that, I was so happy that there was this slight nuance, this slight bit of experience that he would never be able to have, right? Because he is the top of the top. The white man who lives in the suburb with his family and everything is great. Her father doesn't have the luxury to be able to say, you know what, I'm gonna back out, I don't want to do this. I mean, he can, but it's different. It's different, and I'm so glad that they put that in there, because it allows me to speak about the privilege of him, because he said to her, oh, so what, I'm not allowed to feel these things. It's like, my guy, you have a responsibility, you have a family, and it's only now that you're speaking up after she's a week from giving birth that now this is not what she wants. You are foolish. Yeah, fool. I was literally shouting at the television. I was like, what is this? She's a week from giving birth and now you're like, you know what, actually, let me just... I'm not sure about this, you know. I'm not sure. Huh? Are you mad? Him being able to say no. Him being able to back out and leave this situation and continue his life as if nothing happened. If we look from an evolutionary perspective of relationships and reproduction, women have a much bigger investment when it comes to reproducing and having a child. There is something inside of them for 9 months. It's a very traumatic, painful experience giving birth. The man, I'm sorry to put it like this, but the man can nut and go. Excuse my language, but the man can just give the sperm and go. There's not that much, effort. There's not that much time and process that the man has to put in that the woman has to put in. And so when the woman is choosing a mate, this is from an evolutionary standpoint, so back in the day, a mate, we're talking like Neanderthals and that, she has to choose wisely. She has to choose someone who will have all the features to continue her lineage and make sure her kids live. you know, having certain features, good jawline, maybe suggests more testosterone in the body, which is good for fighting off infections, and all of this, right? Cool, boom, you understand? So there's more investment, whereas the man can just go off. And him being a white man will not understand the struggles. That's not to say that he doesn't have problems, but he will not understand the struggles of a black individual and what they will have to go through in life, and how it is so easy for him to pull out of a situation, pardon the pun.